shit. Oh. Oh, fucking hell, the first time ever I can actually see a comment. Okay, now. I'm quite chuffed. Hi. Yeah, hi. Looking cozy. I am cozy. Yeah. I am pretty cozy. How you doing? Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. Thank you for asking. So bright. What time is it? The top. It's good. It's a great question. I think it's 10 o'clock. Sober. Yes. Just. This is my second day. I don't feel good. I wanted to make a video earlier. It's hard, you know. Like, ask anybody that does videos. They're more difficult than you think they are. And if you're kind of, I don't know, they're difficult. This, yeah, I am always in withdrawal. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Do you know what? I was actually, the only reason really that I've done a video tonight is because for some reason I just, as I got in bed, I kind of felt half okay, if that makes sense. Keep vegan, yeah, of course, yeah, 100%. How's the sobriety going? Good, not good. I'm sorry if I look down at if my eyeballs are down. It's the camera's up here, but the comments are down here. Yeah, I don't know. Fucking trying to take one day at a time. Well, 1 hour at a time, really. You know, one. A lot of alcohol is not vegan. Yeah, you're right, but pupils dilated. How can you see what I'm talking about? I'll try and. Hi Rick, were you intoxicated on your last live reel? Yes, I was. 2 days ago, I was. Yeah. Eat some meat. No, thank you. Shop closed now. Well done. Yep, good point. Rick, man, where are the? There's too many. Trolls still after you. Yes, they'll never stop. Stop counting days. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. Just change to weed. Do you know the one thing I always have this about. So I tried weed, crikey, when I was like 16 years of age, and I can remember I was sitting in my friend's. His name's Scott Coombs, and I sat in his front room, and his mum came down, and we'd both been smoking, and it was the first and only time, and I could not stop laughing. Every time she took a step forward, I just burst out laughing. The cat came in, I laughed. Like, that seemed almost like the perfect drug, you know what I mean? Because I was just laughing continually. But I don't like smoking. Like I say, I've never smoked. I smoked a cigarette in a casino once. What's going on? I'm so sorry that I can't get through to. I am glad though that I finally worked out how to see people's comments. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. Thank you. What about therapy? I do need therapy. Do you know what? I'm actually going to do a video tomorrow. Somebody's made a video on me because they say that I've blocked them from the channel, but I've spoke to him before and I couldn't find him on the block list. But He really is a genuine guy, and he's ended up emailing me a couple of times, and he feels like the only way to get through to me is to make his own video, and he did make his own video. And he talks a lot of sense. He's a good guy, and I'm going to respond to that video tomorrow. I'm always rooting for you. Thank you. You need to get in the gym. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Rick, your comment section is wild. Can you block people? I do block people. My comment section is... yeah. Yeah, it's eventful, but this is the thing, like, I'm not really too affected by it because sometimes I don't look, which is a shame, really, because there's a lot of good people that, say nice things, offer good advice. But when you're in addiction, like I say, I'm sure other people that are in addiction understand what I'm saying, but you focus on the negativity, and I'm no different. I do it all the time. There'll be like 100 comments, and I'm not saying blowing smoke up my arse. I'm saying they'll be like, have you considered this? Have you considered this? I had a son that did this. My mother was an addict, and or really, really good stuff. And then someone will just call me a bellend, and I'll focus on that. And I think that's also my addiction. So I really would love to be able to sit with people, but it's unless you're in it, it's very hard. Yeah. You see, who the fuck has just put that Nigger? I mean, I'm ginger, so I couldn't be any further from that. But who's put that? Have you experienced any withdrawal? Do you know what? I want to talk about this more because if you go back to 2003, when my wife left me, that's when I was doing like a litre and a half of vodka, and I was keeping the vodka under the pillow, and I was like wishing myself dead every night. I was a real mess then. I used to like right where I'm sitting here, I used to throw up on the floor in the morning, and I just used to wake up and walk around it, and then I'd wait for it to get crusty, and then I'd scrape it up with a scraper. It's hard, man. But as I say, I'm more of a not a moderate drinker. I mean, it's still I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, but I drink a lot less. I mean, now I'm trying to drink nothing, but my drinking is a lot less than it was, say, a few years ago. I was a fucking mess a few years ago. A real mess. You can't experience withdrawals until you stop drinking, yeah. To be fair, mate, I know what you're getting at there, because obviously I've claimed to be sober for a week, 2 weeks, all this kind of stuff, and not a lot of people believe me. And to be fair, if I was an outsider and I was watching in, I wouldn't believe me either. But I don't really know what to say about that. I used to do 16 what? Is that Guinness a night? I was wasted all the time. Yeah. Do you know what? Like, I wanted to do a video actually on this, because I think I watched something from... Who was I watching? I can't remember, but it was something about kind of the strength in alcohol. So I used to buy like wine, and I used to buy and I used to buy Stella. Do you know as kind of your alcohol progresses? Like for me now, if you were to offer me a can of Stella, I'd think, what the fuck is that? It's 4.6%, 4.5%, whatever, 4.8%. It almost feels like a waste of time, And when I used to go shopping with my ex-wife, so for those that know, no, for those that don't. But like I used to, like when my wife was shopping, and she'd ring me and say, "Do you want or do you need anything?" And I used to be like cheeky. This was before I really got into kind of the alcohol. Oh, I was an addict, but I was hiding it quite well. And I used to say, "Oh, do you mind picking me up a bottle of wine?" And she'd be like, she's like, "Look, I can buy you a bottle of wine, but it can't come out of the joint account. It has to come out of, or at least put some money into, because we used to pay money in for the bills, and we used to pay money in to make sure everything was paid. And if we wanted anything that wasn't kind of shared, we paid for it separately, which is fine, right? So I'd say if she was shopping and buying food for us both, and I'd say, "Can you pick me up a bottle of wine?" And she'd say, I can. I'd rather you not have it, but I can pick you up a bottle of wine. But can you chuck an extra tenner or something into the joint account just to cover it?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." And then she would come back with a bottle of wine, and it'd be like 11.5% or 11%, and that used to fucking rile me because I paid for 12, 13% in my mind, you know what I mean? But that's how kind of addiction gets you. I could not, like, if you were to offer me a glass of wine at 10%, I'd feel cheated. Like, in all seriousness, it's the way you start to view alcohol as an addict is fucking crazy. You know, a can of Carlin, no, don't even bore me with it. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking. Hang on, let me go back. Hey Rick, how was your time at Jaguar Land Rover? How do you know that? Oh God, who's that? Hey Rick, how was your time at Jaguar Land Rover? You mentioned once he used to work there as a manager. It wasn't so. It wasn't Jaguar Land Rover. It was a contractor for Jaguar Land Rover. So I used to work for. So imagine you're in the car and you've got the interior. It's all leather, whatever. That's what we did. So we were a contractor for that. But have I mentioned that before then? Oh dear. Yeah, but my drinking career around there, I can't even fuck, Do you know what? That's probably my worst. When I was at my last job, when I was doing marketing, I mean, what I drank there was crazy, and I've spoke about that in a video. It was 2 drinks before work. It was drinks on the way. It was drinks at 11 o'clock. I was trying to get out all the time, all that kind of stuff. I was a mess then, but I was also a mess when I was at not Jaguar Land Rover, but I was at a contractor for Jaguar Land Rover, and I used to run a production line, and this production line used to generate a lot of money. It was a JIT line. So for those that don't know, it's called just in time. So essentially, if you buy a Ford, you've got a couple of options, right? So you can stockpile black leather seats. You can stockpile black leather door cards, whatever. When you're buying cars that are 100 grand, £150,000. I mean, we did the Queen's cars. We did Anthony Joshua's car. When you're doing them kind of cars, you like when someone pays £100,000 for a car, you have what's called a JIT window, and that means that you have to produce the colour, every colour that they want, every safety aspect, in terms of switches, whatever, and you have to do it within 8 hours. And we had to get it across the Midlands, so we had like an 8 hour window. So we had to get the order, we had to make the order and get it across, the Midlands within 8 hours, so they could fit it to the car. And that's why it was such a high pressure job, and it was because, as I say, for every Jaguar Land Rover, for example, they used to wait for all the parts from the different supplier, and we were obviously one of the suppliers. We got charged £6,000 a minute for every minute we were late. Do you know what I mean? So the pressure was fucking high. No wonder I drank in that job. I fucking hated it. Oh my god. And do you know what? Like, I wasn't low enough or high enough. I was like a middle manager. So I wasn't high enough to not get the blame, and I wasn't like low enough. Like, essentially, I was a punching bag. So, like, in my job, I was just a fucking punching bag. Yeah, I was always to blame for. But there was four of us, so there was four punching bags essentially. Rick, I heard you have a 9-incher. If you divide that by 5, you're close. Yep. Yeah, I've got a tiny willy, my friend. See, that's the problem. You can ask me a question and I'll just ramble on. So let me try. I don't know. You really are like David Brent, am I? And he was fat, wasn't he? So, cracking one out to this live. How drunk are you? I'm not. I've got there's a cup of coffee somewhere. Probably cold now, but how many units do you drink a week? A week, 40. 40 a week. I do 60 a day. Well, you're asking me now, aren't you? If I was to now, I don't know. Depends if I don't know. If I drink on a day, 40 is my minimum for the day. Once I start, I can't stop. Yeah. Put some clothes on. Put some clothes on. If you really are sober, does that make a difference? Does it? If you turned on, I'm sorry. Favorite vegan YouTuber activist? Oh, crikey! I don't watch him on YouTube, but I watch him on Instagram. Cliff. YouTube, as I say, my algorithm now has changed. Obviously, Joey Carbstrong. I don't know if Cliff's on YouTube, to be honest. I do watch him on Why You Vegan? And I wouldn't slit my dog's throat, therefore, yeah. I can't get through these. Yeah, Joey Carbstrong, legend, yeah. Ignore the net, yeah. I'd love for it to slow down so I could read them. You see, someone's put, I can help you read message above. The problem is I've got so many messages I can't. If you've got something really important to say, would you eat an animal if it died naturally? I wouldn't, but I actually got kicked out of a vegan group once because I said I didn't see the problem in eating roadkill, and I actually got dismissed from a vegan group. But yeah, as I say, it's what we do. Yeah. Somebody's, I don't know, I'm getting something. Vegans are responsible for the death of many animals. I'm assuming you're talking about crop deaths. I would assume that's been disproven a billion times. I'm not going to go into it, but do you know what? As I say, I don't want to turn this channel into that. You know, we're trying to recover, aren't we? We're trying to. Is Stella the best drink? Leather no, I don't have leather shoes. No. Why has it all gone vegan all of a sudden? What's the aim on that? I'm vegan for animal ethics, for animal rights. That's it. So I'm going to say it quickly. I've been inside slaughterhouses, and nothing has ever broke my heart in the way that has, and I could choke up now. I think that people don't realise what they're paying for, is what I would say. And all I would ask really is that people understood what happens and then make a conscious decision based on that. Yeah. Gary Yourofsky, mate, fucking, who just bought Gary Yourofsky? Yeah, legend, yeah. The greatest speech you'll ever hear. So for anybody that's in now, go and Google that straight away. Gary Yourofsky. That changed my life. It really did, yeah. Why is there so many vegans in the chat tonight, or what the fuck is going on? What's going on about the vegan? Is it the same person keep commenting? Yeah. Rick, do you think you're depressed? Almost certainly. Yeah. God, I wish I could answer everybody. I really am sorry. What do you think about if you raised your own chickens? Backyard eggs. Most vegans would say no. It's about the most ethical way to obtain eggs, but I would say, why have them? I don't think you need them. I don't know. Of course, I don't eat eggs. No. So for those that don't know, I don't know why we've gone into this big vegan thing now, but for those that don't know, for 90% of the eggs that you will eat, if you go and have a look, when it's on a scaled production, which is where you get most of your eggs from, we macerate. So for those that don't know what macerate is, we put them in a big grinder and we macerate all the male chicks. Go and have a look. Veganism is a cult. It's freedom, my friend. You ate chicken the other night. No, I did. Well, I ate fake chicken. I ate protein. Hang on 1 second. I've not had any animal products, my friend, since 2017. So I'm nearly a decade in now. There's too many. What's your 3-dart average? Fuck, I'm shit at darts. I love darts, but I'm fucking horrendous at them. The same as snooker. Snooker is a huge sport for me. I love snooker. I watch it all the time, but I'm absolutely horrendous at it. Oh, fuck. Sobriety is freedom. To be honest, Chris Smith, I don't know yet. I would assume so. You're wasted, am I? Are you good at anything? No. Being a lazy prick, probably. Yeah. Well, bin fans. What? Don't ask me about politics, by the way, because I have absolutely no idea. I don't watch any kind of news at all. I'll always remember that. What was that quote from? Oh, what's his name? It slipped my mind now. Where he said, "If you read the news, you're misinformed. If you don't read the news, you're uninformed." Yeah, I think. this somebody. Watched any good movies lately? What was I watching last night? Oh, fuck. What did I watch last night? Oh, it couldn't have been that good because I forgot already. Gilbert's. Sorry, have you ever been diagnosed with Gilbert syndrome? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screenshot that because I've never heard of that. So I'll look into that after this chat. Hi from hi. Hi. 72 hours is funny. Is that a film? Is it? What the fuck was I watching yesterday? Oh no, I didn't. I watched Ricky Gervais. I watched an old Ricky Gervais comedy special. I think one of his first ones, Animals or something like that. I do love, again, Stop the Nonsense and fuck the plot topic. Really listen to. How many days are you sober? So I'm sober today. I was sober yesterday. I released. So I want to apologise for the live that I put out yesterday. It wasn't from yesterday. It was from the day previous. But I put it on a members. I don't know. I've been trying to. So for those that follow, I've been trying my best to work out how to use YouTube. Thank you. Do I ever get any acid reflux all the fucking time? Every single day. Yeah, yeah. Every single day. Every single morning, should I say. And then, sometimes, and I know it sounds weird, but sometimes I can think about alcohol and it comes up and I go, like when just by thinking about it, yeah. It's fucking horrible, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that members thing. I honestly thought when I first did it 2 days ago, I honestly thought I was live. And then the following day, I checked again because I couldn't understand why there was no one there. And then the following day, I realised that I'd started it as private. So obviously, it was just me watching me, essentially, which is fucking. So I set it to members only because I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna get a lot of hate and I don't know why I do it to myself half the time, right? I do come on drunk and I do this, and I do feel bad when I do it, but also it is just part of the, so I don't know. I just thought I'd just rather a couple of people see it rather than everybody fucking hammer me in the comments. I mean, you know how I get hammered anyway, don't you? I get absolutely battered in the comments. And I knew I would as well, so yeah, that's why I put it for members only. And then I thought, okay, I'll put it to everyone else. And then the comments came in thick and fast, and I got abused fucking straight away, instantly. So I just took it down. Yeah. What about the bloods? So, yeah, that's something that I need to tell you. That's important. Try to get through these. 1 second, please. The bloods. What was my? I can't look at them because I'm recording on the phone now, but I think it was it 618. So one of the scores I remember being between 0 and 59, I think, is safe level. And I think I was at 600. I'm now at 870, I think. but I can't remember what that score. What's the name of that score? I'll try and add it in tomorrow's video if I can. But I've still not got my date for my fibro. Someone asked me the other day, and they said, because as far as I assume, fibro is between 1 and 4. And this is what the guy. So when I went to the hospital last week, he said to me, "You understand, or do you understand, kind of the cirrhosis, that once you've got cirrhosis, you can't get rid of it. You've got compensated, decompensated, etc., etc." I said, "Look," I said, "for the position that I'm in, I don't know enough about it." I said, like, that is shameful, really, because I should be looking, into potentially the things that could end your life. And he said to me, he said, "You've got, so as far as I'm aware, is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Can somebody just confirm this? Because there's obviously probably people that have fibrosis or cirrhosis, but I think you get a fibro score of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm hoping that I'm at. I hope I'm at 3. I think I was at 2. But yeah, I'm just trying to stay away from 4, really. CGT, yeah, that sounds familiar. CGT for the bloods, yeah, that does sound familiar. Like I say, without looking back through my phone, it's very hard for me to. ALT. Do you know what annoys me about myself? And this is also what annoys people, is that I'm in this position and I don't care enough to look at what I should look at. I mean, I know I was talking the other day, wasn't I? And I was talking about, like, someone asked me about delirium tremens, and they said, "Have you had them?" And I was like, "I don't know." Do you know what I mean? Like, I've had sessions where I've had, like, weird experiences when I'm going through withdrawals, and then I was talking about my family. I have a very large family, and a lot of them have obviously passed through addiction, through alcohol. And then people were like, "Well, if your family's died through addiction, how do you not know about delirium tremens?" Well, why would I, would be my answer. If my auntie is going through something, like, why would I know about how she feels in the morning? So I've actually thought about this a few times, whether or not I should speak on this subject. But my dad's sister, my auntie, one of them, as I say, like, quite a few have passed, but my uncle, I shouldn't really talk about it. I suppose I can talk about it here very quickly, because it can just be gone. It's not like a video that I put out. But my uncle Lewis, right? So Sheena was my dad's sister. Sheena and Lewis were a couple. He went to work one day, and this was kind of, I don't know whether it was hereditary or whatever, but he came home on his lunch break, and he didn't feel too well. Right, now, all of my family drink. Everybody drinks, and they drink to excess. Right, so that's just the way it's always been. But always holding down jobs, always holding down families, always doing kind of the necessities. And Lewis came home one day, and he didn't feel too well. And Sheena, my dad's sister, said, "Go and lie down on the couch. I'll make you a sandwich." And because he wasn't feeling too well, came home from work, and she made a sandwich, came in, and he was dead. And he I can't remember exactly what he died from. It was something like an aneurysm, I think, or something like that. He was like 55, died. And I can always remember my auntie Sheena, right? She had like a lovely looking woman. She had dark hair, and after her husband passed, within 5 years, the hair was white. She was walking, like decrepitly, because they lived just a street away from my mum and dad, and I was still I was still living at home at the time. And there was a shop round the corner, and I can remember so she passed a few years after, and like I say, the difference in her, she went from a brunette looking 50, 45, whatever, to white hair, looking 70. She literally aged 15, 20 years over the course of 3 years. And you know what was sad about that? I'll probably tell you the full story one time, but I do want to be respectful. I don't want to say anything that you know. But yeah, she used to walk around the shop. She used to walk around the corner to the shop, and she used to. So this is how long ago it was. It was a bottle of Smirnoff, and it was 10.99. I think a bottle of Smirnoff now is what, for a 750 ml, 22 pound or something like that, and it was 10.99 back then. So you're probably talking a decade ago, right? And what happened to her, that she was drinking that every single day. We didn't know no one knew at the time. We used to see her go to the shop, and she was actually found by her daughter. Right, imagine that, found by her daughter on the couch. She went round to check on her, and because she drunk so much, she fell asleep on the couch, vomited, and choked on her own sick, and that's how she passed, unfortunately. And the daughters, obviously, then when they have to go through the finances and they have to go through all that kind of stuff, they found from her bank receipts it was the same £10.99 every morning, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. 10.99, 10.99, 10.99, 10.99. So yeah, she drank herself to death as well, and yeah, that's quite a common theme, really, in our family. So I think, I know it sounds silly, but this is why I try and, I'm sorry for not answering anybody's questions. I really am. I'm just, expressing a little bit now, but this is why I try and protect my parents, because they've seen all that, and I remember once my because this is like another thing that fucking, I don't mean to be, I don't mean to like blame it on my Scottish side, but unfortunately, everyone that's died from alcohol has been on my Scottish side. You know what I mean? But I don't want to say that, because it makes it sound like I'm kind of drumming up some reason for that being the case, and that's not true. But yeah, everybody that's passed thus far has been from my dad's side, and I think sometimes my mum, I think sometimes my mum wants to blame my dad for being Scottish almost. That's kind of how I feel sometimes. If you weren't Scottish and you didn't have such an alcoholic family, our son wouldn't be in the situation that he's in. And obviously that's not true, but that's your mother trying to protect you. So yeah, I don't know. Let's answer some fucking questions, yeah. We'll do another half hour. Would I consider rehab? I don't think I'm going to have much choice, if I'm honest. Average pints a day for the last 10 years. Fuck, pint. Work it out, between 40 and 60 units a day. Probably not for the last 10 years. No, that's a lie. 40 units a day for the last 10 years, to be fair. Give him a fiver, he might even get dressed. No. If anything, drop me a fiver and I'll show you some breast. I'll go the other way, bro. Rick here has a question. Imagine you woke up in a month's ago, mate. Do you know what? Some of my dreams lately have been fucking crazy. I'm scared, every day. Every day I'm... Have you spoken to your parents? My mum came round earlier. I needed a little bit of company, if I'm honest. And I said to my mum, do you fancy a coffee? She came round. I sat and I thought about the things that I should or shouldn't tell her. And I ended up telling her nothing, if I'm honest. But I was on the phone to her yesterday, and she asked me about the bloods and the FibroScan and all the other things, and I was honest about those. I didn't give her any scores, but I did say that they were a little bit worse and that I needed to work on myself and all that kind of stuff. It almost seems like I'm trying to like lower it in, if that makes sense. I don't want to lie to anybody. That's the truth. But I also don't want to deal with what I need to deal with. Got so many comments. I do apologise. Still protecting your future drinking. Yeah, to be fair, you could argue for that. Yeah, you could. Yeah. As I say, I'm not a fool in the sense that I don't know what I'm doing, but I still am trying to protect myself. I'm still trying. I don't want to deal with a harsh. If my mum came in front of me and she started crying and said, I don't think I'd handle it. Well, of course I wouldn't handle it well, but I also don't think that I would. I honestly think it would push me more into drinking. I don't know. The truth is, whatever I've been doing for the longest time hasn't worked, and I'll be the first person to agree with you if you say that. But I don't know. Everything you say about me, he's weak, he's this, he doesn't want to get sober, he doesn't want to do that, he doesn't want to deal with the consequences. I will never turn around and say that that's wrong, because that is exactly how I feel. I don't want to deal with anything. I don't want to. I want to wake up tomorrow and go, oh, drinking, what's that? I don't want to put the hard work in. It's fucking true. You're a narcissist. Do you know what? I'd like to explore that, to be fair, because I understand what narcissism is, and I understand how some people could interpret some parts, but no, I don't think so overall. There might be aspects, yeah. Do you know what? I just want to be a fucking kind person. This is something, right, that I've literally asked. I ask God, right, and for those that follow the channel know that I have no religion, right? But I do speak out sometimes to whoever's listening. and I say, just give me another 10 years. Just give me 10 years alcohol free. Let me find a person that I can spend some time with. Let me be good to my parents. Let me have a good 10 years, and then write me off. I don't know really who I'm reaching out to. As I say, I don't have religion. I'm not opposed to religion. I just don't see the evidence for it. As I've said before, it's so complex to me because I get a lot of religious people in the comments. I get a lot of people that are for and against animal rights, for example. Well, no one's against animal rights, but the kind of need and necessity for to consume animals. So I have like I could speak all day on religion. I couldn't speak on religion, but I could speak on why I don't believe. Do you know what I'd love actually? I'd actually like to sit with and discuss with somebody, maybe on camera or whatever, someone that is religious. And I'd like to fire questions at them because if I'm honest, I want to go to sleep every single night knowing that there's a God and that if I'm a good person, I will go to heaven or whatever. I would love that. I would love nothing more than that. Because I cry and I get scared about dying without faith. But I just can't. There's just too many hurdles for me. I just don't get it. I can't. I look outside and I see all the things that are happening, and I understand about the fall of man, and I understand about bringing evil into the earth. I've googled all that kind of stuff. I've spoke to people. I just don't get it. I have 1,000 questions. You know what I mean? Like truly, I do. And I would love to sit down with somebody of faith and ask those questions. I'd love to do it because I would want somebody to prove me wrong. I would love for somebody to not even prove me wrong, but to give me answers to the questions because I don't know. We're going on a tangent there. Again, I've ignored everybody for the last 5 minutes of talking about shark hunter. So 1 second. Someone's called me a clown. Okay, why are you here then? Just get you sent off. Scotland's fault because he's half Scottish. Yeah, fuck him. No, I love Scottish fault, mate. Listen. There's no one funnier than a Scot, I can assure you. And my dad is. My dad's like the funniest person I know. I can't be vegan for the same... Oh, hang on, 1 second. I can't be vegan for the same reason, man. Do it humane, sure. But I can't be vegan. Well, do it humane. Well, you tell me how you take an animal's life humanely. And I might agree with you. I don't think it's possible. If you don't need to do something, you don't do it. It's like someone's just put there, humane murder. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. Humane slaughter doesn't make. It's an oxymoron. As I say, this isn't a vegan. This isn't a vegan thing. I'm actually gonna do. You're absolutely. People's. How can I prove to you that I'm not hammered? I don't know. Again, mate, get into rehab. I don't know if you're from the UK, but it's about £5,000. I don't have that kind of money, unfortunately. Rick, is there anything passionate that you can volunteer in? Possibly. Do you know what? I'm gonna let me ask you something because I don't know how I felt about this. This was about a week ago, right? I went over to the shop. I was drinking. Okay, no problem. And I went over to the shop, and there was a guy in front of me and he purchased two 37.5 ml bottles of vodka, right? And he was quite clearly drunk. And Linda, who works at the shop, probably shouldn't give her name out, but Linda, who works at the shop, she said, "Oh, you're right," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "I've just come from across the road." So again, I probably shouldn't give out this much detail, but there's like you can go to like a food. So between me and the shop, ironically, there's a food bank and there's like a place where you can go and have dinner and watch TV. It's like a little community space, right? It's in an old Ladbrokes. It used to be Ladbrokes, and now it's a little community space run by a Christian church, which is good, right? I've considered many, many times going, helping, offering my service, which I should do because it would help me and them. But the guy that was in the shop, he said, "Yeah, I've just come from, it's called Unit 1. He said, "I've just come from Unit 1. He said, he said, "Oh, they've just given me a lovely chicken dinner." He said, "I've just had a lovely dinner." He said, "All free." Like, how do you feel about that? Like, someone's just gone and got a free dinner. And I'm sure he needs the free dinner. But then go and spends, go and buys vodka after. I don't know how I feel about that. But listen, I'm no fucking different. Like I say, I don't judge, but when I seen it, I thought to myself, is that what I'm like? Yes, I don't take free dinners, but I do, I'm sure, exploit systems and things like that, like I'm far from perfect. But you know. So don't you hate it when don't you hate it when one of your toenails splits and gets caught in the bedsheet? That may have happened in the past. I can't remember it ever happening recently. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is going on? Okay, right, so Rick, look into the OCD cycle. I don't know what you mean by that. Who the fuck is Ruby Jackal? What the fuck is going on with him? The laughing and swearing is something you don't do sober. It is. It is. When I'm comfortable, I still swear a lot. Somebody's put, "How's the liver?" Probably not good. How many days sober? This is day 2. As I say, I struggled a lot earlier, but I feel okay now. Who is Ruby Jackal? Let me have a look to see if he's... He doesn't seem to be offering much value, does he? Keeps posting the same thing. Let me know, my friend, if you... Yeah, I was going to say, I don't understand who he is. Should society allow drunks to live stream? Okay. If he comes with the same bollocks, answer it then. Answer what? Should society allow drunks? Society doesn't dictate, does it? YouTube dictates. I don't understand. Listen, I don't know, mate. I think I know where you're from, my friend, and I think you're from a channel that is not my greatest fan. So I'm going to hide you, my friend. I'm sorry. That's it. You're gone. Do apologise if you do mean well. Is that smoker's cough? No, I've never smoked in my life. Apart from I tried a joint. I tried a joint when I was 16, and I think I had a cigarette in a casino once and I threw up. So that's not me. But my mum and dad do. My mum and dad have how many? Hang on, how many units drinking a week right now? 120. If you're asking me when I drink, 120 is not even close. It's 60, 120, 600 or something. I don't know. It's a lot. Yeah. It's about 60 a day. 60, 120, 240. Yeah. It's in the many hundreds. Joe Skid, it's roadkill. Do you know what about Joe Skid? I don't even like. I should really not even respond to that because I don't want to give him any thingies. But I don't mind him. You know, he's okay. He's relentless. But I do honestly think. Do you know? He's so. I watched the other one, right? So he was talking about Bryn Lee, wasn't he? And Bryn Lee. So for those that don't know, Bryn Lee's like another, like he's a YouTuber. He's like talks about his kind of binge drinking and all this kind of stuff. And Joe Skid obviously ripped him up for him being kind of monotone and all this kind of stuff. But he's very. I don't know. I like his sense of humour. He rips everybody. He basically thinks that anybody that even makes a penny from any kind of sobriety, like, but he's also very two-faced. You know, he comes under different accounts: Boogaloo, Kevander, all that kind of stuff, which we know. For those that have followed the channel for a while, know the accounts that he uses. And he'll go in, even like Stephen Curry's channel, right? He'll go in there and he'll talk and he'll kiss his arse, and then he'll go on his own channel under Joe Skid and just talk shit about him. He's very two-faced, but he's quite funny. But he's yeah, he's a fucking bellend. That's a bellend. Do you know what? He's a bellend, but he's funny. So, what can you say about that? Rick, do you talk with anyone outside of this offline? I don't, my friend. No, I'm very much on my own in this. Really, I don't need to be. I choose to be, which is, I know, the wrong thing to do. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Rick, are you afraid of getting sober? Yes, if I'm honest, yeah. I don't know anything else, you know. I don't know how to deal with feelings. I don't know how to live, feel. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of exploration to go there, my friend. But yeah, you're right, Rick. I got pissed recently. First time in ages. Can't handle the hangover, mate. I know. I can't give you any advice, mate. Fuck you. I mean, look at me. I'm a shit show. So you don't want help. I do, but yes, I'm not susceptible to it. Switch to weed. Oh, again, it's the. Rick, have you considered an adult circumcision for your sobriety? Circumcision, am I reading that right? Circumcision. You can't take any skin off my penis, it's too small. Do you know what? Like that makes me laugh, right? This is actually like I'm going off topic a little bit. Like, so you'll have to. So I please accept my apologies. But the one reason that I fell out, I'm not falling out with. I don't like Stephen from Stephen's Alcohol Free Lifestyle, and I don't say that in like a nasty way. as I say, I've supported him right from the start of his channel. Always been there. Always said good things. Spoke to him on live and all this kind of stuff. And I've never said a bad word about him. He said many bad words about him, and people used to, like, when people were really trolling me, they were saying things and he was believing it, right? And he said a lot of things about me that were hurtful, and he was saying, and I think, like, I probably shouldn't have done. I did it because I don't know, but I saved one of his lives where he said that I had that he had proof that I'd been sending indecent images to women, which is ridiculous. First of all, you're a policeman, right? If you believe that because someone's told you that, then you're a discredit to the force, first of all. But secondly, I don't mind the fact that he said it because I know it's not true. Sending indecent images, I would never in a fucking million years send this, because I would never in a million years send that over fucking WhatsApp or something, I can assure you. Yeah, to send indecent images. I suppose that's an indecent image, isn't it? Yeah. But I think he was talking about the penile, and I would never share that. But yeah, I can't make my mind up about Stephen because I think he's like net positive, right? He helps people. He does it for money. He's only in this game for financial gain, and that's okay, right? I have no problem with that. But yeah, kind of the lies that he told about me, and I know they're lies because I didn't do it. Someone told him something, and he put that out to nearly 20,000 people. So yeah, as I say, I don't wish the guy any harm, but I think he's an absolute fool, really, for doing that. Even if I'd been told something, I would never share it. Well, you don't share it without facts, do you? You don't share it until you know. And the fact that he said that I'd been abusing women and sending them indecent images, and he knew that for a fact, when I know for a fact that I hadn't, just tells me that he's believing what someone else has told him. And the fact that he's an ex-policeman is quite worrying, I think, isn't it? Anyway, that's me rambling again like a prick. Just re-upload. Just re-uploads. Is that for Stephen? Yeah, he does just re-upload the same bollocks, doesn't he? Rick, I know you're a Man U fan. I am indeed. Yeah. You're Liverpool. Do you reckon you'll do us this season? Yeah, yes, mate. Fuck, yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've been a Man U fan for don't know, I've probably been a Man U fan, like, not heavy. Do you know what I mean? I haven't actually been to the stadium for like 15 odd years. So I am kind of one of them armchair supporters. But yeah, I've got. I was actually looking through where. Do you know what I have? Listen to this, and I wish I could find it. It's in my mum's loft somewhere. So I'll tell you a little story now about Man United. So my mum used to work for a company called Halo Headdresses, and like when you get married, it's like just headdresses, right? And the daughter of the person that owned that used to date Rufus Brevett, that used to play for QPR. That's how long ago it was, right? And I used to have a kitten. I used to have a kitten called Ryan, and I named the kitten after Ryan Giggs. Yeah. And anyway, my mum told I can't remember her name now. Told the woman at work. She told her boyfriend Rufus Brevett, and then QPR played Man United, right? And Rufus Brevett got a program, right? And on obviously in the middle page, you've got obviously the two team sheets. And after the game, he got everybody in the United team to sign it. Now, bearing in mind, Paul Ince, Andre Kanchelskis, yeah, so fucking some of the big dogs here, some of the big dogs, and I've got like Schmeichel as well. I've got a program somewhere, and I don't know where it is. It's in my mum's loft somewhere, but yeah, it's signed by fucking Andre Kanchelskis. All Paul Ince, all of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Memory lane, eh? Bit of memory lane there for you. So yeah, so I used to have a kitten called Ryan that I named after Ryan Giggs, and yeah, yeah. My dad is a Man U fan, and has a signed European program from 1968. No, fucking hell, mate. That's mint. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. I'm so sorry if I missed question. I'm going to... Do you know what? Instead of going back, because I just go off on tangents, don't I? Start... George Best used to play. Yeah, of course, yeah. I'm going to try and go through them. So I'm going to go to the bottom now. So if you've asked a question, they haven't answered it, ask it again, and I'll try and get through it. Rick, so you are vegan. It's a stance, right? No harm to animals. What about no harm to friends and family and loved ones? Great question, yeah. Yeah, we keep on drinking. I was actually talking to myself earlier. Yeah, why do I care more for the fucking cow down the street than I do for my own welfare? It's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. And I've just said my welfare then. I didn't even consider my mum, my dad, and the other people that I hurt. I don't know, my friend. Truthfully, I don't know. As I say, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to be a little bit more thingy, but yeah, it's true. I'm gone. It's so hard for me to go through all the questions because there's so many. If he's vegan and alcoholic, is vitamin. I think every vitamin is low in me, to be honest, because I eat junk food. I don't do things. It's why the fuck does everybody keep calling me David Brennan? I get that so fucking often. I don't see it. Someone said, "Is he?" I'm not drunk. Like, I don't really know what. That's horrendous. But I'm not drunk. I don't really know what to say to you. Stop hiding. Show us what you're drinking. How many? The only thing I can do now is just ignore those comments. But in the same breath, I also understand why they're being asked. I've lied so much. You can be gay and vegan. Of course you can. I mean, I've not touched another woman now for 2.5 years, so I could be gay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, could be gay, couldn't I? Could be. Do you know what? Like, I was thinking about this the other day because I watch. Does anybody watch Life 2.0? Rick avoiding the drinking questions. Ask me again. I'm not avoiding any questions. I can't see them. Do you make money off YouTube? Do you know what? This is a huge question. Do I make money off YouTube? Yes, I do. Do you want me? Do you want me to tell you how much I make? I can tell you how much I make. It's fine, and you can even go and validate it from other YouTubers in a similar niche. I what was last month? 280. I think I made last month. 280 quid. I think the month before 340. It's about 250, 300 ish on average that I make off YouTube. Yeah, that's for full transparency. People seem to think I make about £6 a month, which obviously is just crackers. I'm going to try. People keep saying, why you're not answering this question. I'm trying. I've just got so many. You can make money on YouTube by being an alcoholic. Sign me up. Well, sign yourself up then, pal. Dead easy, innit? Create an account. How much do I spend on booze a month? Ask me now or ask me how I was in 2023. It's hard to say. He's an habitual liar when he's drunk. Well, what is it that you think that I'm lying about? Not bad for a month for a drunk. I don't need YouTube income, but why would you turn it down? I don't. The problem I have now is that I have been drunk on lives and I've been drunk on videos and I've done this and I've done this, that I've lost all credibility now. And I get that, so every time I make a video or every time I come on live, I'm going to be questioned. So I understand that. It's fine. It's okay. His eyes are glassy. Mate, look at my skin. Actually, it looks like I've not got wrinkles. It's not a good camera, I can assure you. Rick, do you have a girlfriend? I don't know, and I'm far from getting one as well. Sorry. I want to go back to this because I found that interesting. I'm on welfare due to my alcoholism and make 733 a month in Canada. Canadian dollars. Do online surveys to help me buy food and go to the food bank. Do you know what, my friend? There's a lot of people that do surveys and stuff like that. It is a good little top up for money and things like that, and obviously the food bank's there to assist and support. 733. I don't really know what the cost of living is in Canada, but Canadian dollars are like, isn't that even worse against the pound? Or well, sorry, better against the pound, but than American dollars. But obviously, the cost of living is completely different. Rick, can we have a house party? Yeah, fuck it. Fuck. Dear. Why is everybody scummy to Rick, man? To be honest, I get it, mate. I've made a mockery of sobriety over the last 18 months, so that's why I don't delete some comments, and you know, because I've bought a lot of this on myself. So I used to pay $800 for a month in for a flat in Canada. Yeah, probably sounds similar to the UK, to be honest. Can you sing No Scrubs again? I can sing No Scrubs, but again, why have you heard me sing it before? I could sing it, like, be fucking shy, but I could sing it, yeah. Rick is taking the piss by lying. Yeah. Okay. Well, Latex, why are you even bothering? Let's have a look at what your channel activity is like. You don't seem too bad. I'll let you stay. Do you know what? Like, no. So that's not that's not 100% true. So someone's put, you've mentioned that people have offered to pay for your rehab. Why don't you face the fear and do it anyway? That's not true. So I did say, I think you're referring to a video where I said I've been offered rehab. I was offered rehab in Canada. I was offered a couple of online rehabs, but I do think some of these were kind of startup things, and they were kind of using me as like I don't know. It's very weird. Like when I googled some of them, they weren't like legit, if that makes sense. But the one in Canada was. But yeah, rehab in the UK is a lot of money. Not that it wouldn't be worth it. Rick makes me mad because he reminds me of myself. Sorry about. Yeah. If you don't like me being representative of you, trust me, I don't like me being representative of me either. Bullshit, no experimental rehabs in Canada. I didn't say experimental rehabs in Canada. I said the one in Canada was legit. Rick, have you any family members overcome alcoholism? People have overcome heavy drinking, but when I think of the names in the family, Lorna, Sheena, Barry, Marina, no, they unfortunately all died of a result of alcoholism. I think some of the people that drank a lot now drink less or none, but I think the true alcoholics in the family have all died as a result, I think. But as I say, I'm not a huge family man. We actually have a problem at the minute where one of my dad's sisters, her husband died a few years ago. She's had some financial problems, and my dad's trying to take care of her. It's his younger sister, and they're finding litre bottles of whiskey and stuff under the sink. So there's a bit of an issue there as well. No, yeah, it's just a. As I say, I don't want to blame Rick where he's Chester. He's with my ex. He's due back. I think I've not had him now for a week, so yeah, I miss him. Yeah, I miss him a lot. Some people say alcoholism. Ouch. When do you have to move out of your house? Well, I don't have to move out of the house on if I can. Do you know what? I get so like it really frustrates me that I can't tell you the finances. Like, it really frustrates me because I would love to talk to you about it, but I just can't because of the consent order and different things like that. When that's all sorted, I will explain to you. It's like this is like another thing that annoys me. People go, "Oh, look at him sitting in his fucking big kitchen or whatever." Like, you don't understand. It's people like I can assure you, this house, I pay less for this house than somebody does for a two up, two down, right? But then I have to pay my ex-wife a premium, and then I have to borrow a lump sum of money, which then I have to pay monthly. When all of that accumulates, once all of that becomes one big bill, then the house has to be sold. But the solicitor, I can't pay without the judge signing the consent order. Like, do you understand what I mean? It's essentially my living costs now. Once the consent order is signed and done, they triple straight away overnight. They triple, and then it becomes unaffordable. So I really would love to explain to you because I understand what people say. I mean, I had somebody, you know what? This is like another thing, right? Somebody was saying, I seen someone in the comments saying, "Oh, he's outside. He's got this big pub set up or whatever, right?" Because I had that short where I was watching TV outside. I'll just quickly explain that to you. There's a gazebo outside, right? That I built, right? I built it. 150 quid in timber, right? The TV that was out there was the TV from the front room, the living room, because I can't watch two TVs at once, can I? Right? So I decided to take it out there because I was trying to get myself out into the garden rather than sitting crying inside. And then the kind of sofa, if you like, outside, we've had that crikey, I don't know, 8 years, and my ex is taking that when she purchases a new house. So like everybody, the thing that annoys me about social media is everybody tries to fill in gaps. They go, "Oh, he's got this or this." Like, you're just trying to fill in gaps. You don't know. You don't. You only know what I tell you, and then when you see things, you try and fill in. You know what I mean? Which is why I don't mind answering questions. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Like you say, I was sitting out there. Okay, I'm sitting outside. The lights there. There was lights on the thingy, and someone said, "Oh, he's got some like hanging lights." They were 20 quid from Temu. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking 2 years ago. Yeah. Oh, it just makes me laugh. And then someone was like, "He's even got a heater, right?" That heater was second hand. I don't know. It's just like little things, like when people make assumptions on everything. That pisses me off, really. It shouldn't piss me off, but it does because it like people in the comments try and paint a picture without any evidence or facts at all. Oh God, you see, this is the problem. I just like someone asked me a question and I just start talking shite. Is your ex okay with having the house? Doesn't she? So I live close to my parents. Well, 4 miles away. My wife, or my ex-wife, should I say, is over an hour away. One of the reasons that she's told me, I mean, obviously the main reason is my addiction, but another reason is that she did want to go back home, and I said to her many times, we should sell here and find somewhere kind of halfway between, because years ago when we were thinking about kids and stuff, obviously I wouldn't want to have children and be, 2 miles away from my parents and, 60 miles away from hers. You'd have to find somewhere close. But yeah, I always think she was homesick, and I just kept throwing ammo there, being drunk all the time. I actually thought about telling you one day about the actual day that that she texted me and she said that's enough, and that was I won't tell you all the details, but what kind of the straw that broke the camel's back was I was in the bath, right? So we have there's like a freestanding bath, and there's like a ledge at the back, and when I wanted to drink more, I used to hide bottles of Henry Westons behind the back of the bath, and then I used to get in the bath and I could just like drink and just drop it behind, and if she ever walked up she wouldn't see it. And I got used to kind of doing that. And one day she'd been out, and she'd been back in her hometown with her sister and all this kind of stuff. And she texted me and said, "I'm on my way back now." She said, "Do you want anything to eat?" And I said, "I'm not feeling very well," because this was a day when I'd been paralytic the day before, and I was just fighting, because truthfully I don't think I've ever had a fucking hangover. I'm always hair of the dog, always, and I will just fight and fight and fight, and it just makes me tired and all this kind of stuff. So I'd stacked loads of drinks behind the bath, and she said to me, she obviously rang me and said, "Do you want anything to eat? I'm on my way back now." And I said, "No, don't worry about it." And she said, "Well, have you eaten today?" And I said, "No." I said, "But I'm all right." She said, "You've been drinking again, haven't you?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm all right." And she came back and she took one look at me in the bath, and I was paralytic again, right? And she said, "Are you drunk again?" And I said, "No." She said, "I can tell, Ricky." And I said, "No, I'm fine." And I went to get out the bath, and literally, because it's a freestanding bath, as I pulled over, I brought the bath with me, and the bath flipped over, and just fucking obviously gallons of water went all over the floor, and it started to drip from this to the kitchen. And she was like, "What are you doing?" And I tried to stand up, and because I'd been sitting there and I'd been drinking in the bath, I didn't realise that my fucking legs didn't work. I didn't even understand that my legs had given up. So I tried to stand up, and the bath has tipped over, and there's just water gushing everywhere, and I go to stand up and I just cannot stand up. And she's screaming, she goes, gets towels, I try and get towels, and I'm like, I'll sort it. So we both sort it, put all the towels down, it's dripping through, we're putting towels in the kitchen, it's dripping through the floorboards. And then she just said to me, she said, "Do you know what, Rick?" She said, "I'm going to sleep in a different room tonight." I said, and I kind of understood, because I'd been an absolute menace that day, if you like. And and obviously she didn't text me during that night, but she texted me the following morning because I had work and she had work, right? So I went to work, obviously absolutely dying. I brought wine on the way to work because I know I was panicking. And I got a text about 11 o'clock, and she said I'm done. She said I can't do it. You know, that's how we split up. You know, and justified, really, right? Um, yeah, I'll tell you that story in full one day on a video. I try not to. I try and be a little bit careful about what I say because I don't want to. I don't mind telling stories if I'm like when there's no way that you know. So yeah, all right. Someone's put a consent order for what? Consent order basically. What a consent order is you split your assets 50-50. And a consent order basically means that you can't come after pensions. If I was to win the lottery next year, you can't come after that, for example, all that kind of stuff. But it has to be legally binding. You tell people too much. I do, yeah, yeah. But we all go through stuff like that. Like that's the way I see it. We all go through things, and I don't judge people. Do you have children? No. No, that's another story in its fucking self. I could talk to you all day about that. I always thought I was being. I always thought I was being sensible. I'll always remember this was about 2000 and crikey 2003, 2004. I used to work at a place, and there was a guy I used to work with. His name was Almadin Herncic. He was Croatian, and he was like 3 years older than me, and he had a couple of kids. And he's like, Rick, why don't you have kids? And I was working like 3 shifts. I was working hard. I was going to the gym. I was doing everything right, but I didn't see any window to like look after children. I thought even if I knock the gym on the head, right? I'm 6'2" one week, I'm 210, then I'm nights or whatever. I think at the time I was continental. I think it was the time I was continental. So I was doing 12-12. I was doing 12-hour days, 4 days on, 4 days off, if I remember rightly. So the weekends and stuff. And I thought, why would I bring a child into this? Like, I need, you know, if I'm going to bring a kid into the world, I want to spend time with him. I want to do this. And then I started to think about, like, what can you do? Can you have a business? Can you work for yourself? Like, I'm a kid. I'm a young lad then. And I don't know. I just, I've, I just always wanted to, if I had children, just to give them everything. That's just the way I seen it. That's just the way I seen it. And you know, it took me many years to learn that that's not the reality of life. You know, people make things work. I'll always remember, you know, we had an argument once. We were talking about kids, and he said, "You're selfish for not having kids." And I said, "Surely, if I work 12 hours a day, and I have kids and neglect them, surely that's selfish." And I can remember we fell out that day because of kind of that conversation. And I don't really know who was right, if I'm honest. Yeah, the kid debate for me is a tough subject, and I'd love to talk about it because I do regret everything. I regret the fact that I feel like I've robbed my. I mean, obviously, my wife. My wife is 40. She might be 40. 41. So, have I stolen her best years? That plays on my mind. I wonder if I've robbed my parents of grandkids. And and I've spoke to people about this, and people have said, well, you can't have kids for other people in terms of like my mum and dad, so they can have grandkids. I get that, but I do still feel a lot of kind of hurt and shame, and for myself also. I'd love nothing more than to take my son to football on a Sunday. I would fucking love it. So, and I do think to myself, am I to blame for all that? But let's be honest, I could have had kids, and I could have changed my life. I could have decided that that was more important, and I could have given up the alcohol, and everything could have changed. But what would have happened if I didn't? What would have happened if I'd have had kids and didn't change? Then, if that was going to be the outcome, then I've made the right decision. And the truth is, I'll never know. So I don't know. The kid one's a big one for me. It is a very, very big one for me. Uh, everybody's. Yep, looks like we've got some good people in here, and some tools. Oh dear. As I say, we're all welcome, right? As I say, I never got the whole "you're selfish for not wanting kids." If that's the case, then that person, babysitting. I, yeah, I don't know. It's like I say, my dad's in his 70s, and I just think that if I had kids now, and I don't know, maybe they 4, 5, whatever, yeah, they'd go and see the grandma, granddad, and I do feel sometimes like I've robbed. I don't know. I suppose this is why I need fucking therapy, isn't it? Because I do overthink everything, everything. Yeah, yeah. Kids at 50 crippled with arthritis when you 10. Yeah, yeah. Your puppy's enough. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Do you know? Do you know what? I was talking. It's a shame, really, and it's only because of like my alcohol again. Yeah, because I didn't bother going on a date. But I was talking to a woman in 2024, I think, and I've always had. I don't know why, but I've had like very weird dreams in the past where I owned like I love kind of Victorian. I love the Victorian era, the Georgian era stuff like that, right? And the house in certain rooms represents that, right? Me and my ex, we liked that, but I always had like I always had a dream where I don't know if anybody follows. It's called the Grey Barn on Instagram, right? And it's like a house, and they've got like an open plan kitchen, yeah, and then they've got like bifold doors or whatever right across the back, so it's a real kind of open plan kitchen, and they've got like a sanctuary. And in the morning, and I always used to have this fucking amazing dream, right, that I owned something similar, with a person that had kind of the same mental kind of ethics as me. So I would never date a non-vegan. Just I'll put that out there. Not being judgmental, but that's the kind of person I want to spend my life with, right? And I could always envision a large kitchen, right? And it was open plan, and you've got bifold doors at the back, and you've got sheep, whatever, pigs, whatever animals you'd rescued, right? Probably from slaughter. But you've got these big bifold doors, and I would just love every single day to like go down, open up these big bifold doors, put some toast in, whatever, your wife, open the doors, and just the animals kind of walk in and try and steal your toast or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how I want my life to end. That's what would make me happy. You know. I'd call them like normal names and all. Do you know what I mean? I'd like Gary the Lamb. Call them like you know all these are like old names that we're trying to get rid of. We're not trying to get rid of, but you don't see many Daves, do you? Many Garys now. I'd call them more like Gary, Dave, Bert. I'd call them in, and then I'd get like maybe 2 or 3 4 sliced toasters. Like make them all toast in the morning. Alan the pig, yeah, yeah. Malcolm, another great name, yeah. But can you imagine just like walking down, just opening the thingies and just them coming in? Like I can imagine, like you say, Alan the pig, yeah. Alan the pig going, fucking hell, Dad, where's the toast? That'd be my dream life, yeah. That'd be my dream life. Steve the sheep, yeah. You've got to call us a sheep, Steve. Yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah. I do need to volunteer. Yeah, I do need to volunteer. But do you know what? Like, I don't. This is what annoys me, right? Like, when I say that, and I've just said, that's a dream, and that is a dream, and it's a fantasy, but it doesn't mean that you can't work towards it. So then I'm angry. Why do I choose every day to wake up and go to the shop and live this fucking miserable life when you could at least work towards something? And I'm not talking like you can't work towards it as in go and buy a big Victorian house, but you can work at a shelter. You can work at, you can always put yourself in a slightly better position. I mean, there's what's the one that I used to go to? I forget the name of it now. It's in Derby. I've just said that. I shouldn't have said that because I'm giving away my location. But yeah, there's like sanctuaries and stuff like that, that I could go work at. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to go and do that. Do you know what, my friend? I know Dylan. Dylan's always in the comments. I could never do vegan. I'm pretty sure, my friend, I, the way I always think about veganism and animal rights is because you don't know what happens. Because I didn't know what happened, and when I was in my 20s, I was a bodybuilder. I I never wanted to really say this, but I purchased with somebody else a cow to slaughter. I didn't slaughter it. It was a. It was a. I used to work at a place where a guy used to work with us, and his family had a farm, and we paid him to slaughter one of his animals, and so I had no concept of what goes on, but when you know, like when you have that information, it's very hard to go back, I think, and I think that's what we all need, isn't it? As I say, I don't judge anybody. I don't make any reservations. I just think we should all be dealt, or we should all know what happens, and then we should make a conscious decision based upon those facts and that information. Because we all we all go humane slaughter. That's an oxymoron. You can't. Them two words do not go together. And just very quickly, I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, "Yeah, but as long as they're killed humanely." And I said, "Have you got a dog?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "So I said, let's assume that your dog's old. Forget about the farmed animals that go into a slaughterhouse as children. I say children, infants, whatever. I said, let's say, for example, your dog is old, and your vet turns around to you and says, you can pay £250 and I'll inject it and I'll put it to sleep, or we can just put it on the slaughter truck with the other 5,000 animals and it'll be bolt gunned and it'll have its throat slit." Would you do it? Of course you wouldn't, because you know really that there's no such thing as humane slaughter. So I don't know. As I say, I don't want this to be a vegan thing. If you had to kill one animal to save 100 human lives, which one are you picking? Of course. It's the thing is I'm gonna do a thing on animal rights, because a lot of people question me and say they think I'm losing brain health and I'm losing and that's the reason for my deterioration and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, I was retarded a long before. I've been an alcoholic long before animal rights or veganism, if you like. I just, if you had to kill every animal you ate, I just think the story would be different, and a pig's life is morally worth the same as a dog's life. I know people don't want to admit that, but it's true. So yeah, most alcohol is vegan. Yeah, I do. So that's why I used to drink Henry Westons and stuff to make sure. Yeah. I know vegans who have leather. Possibly second-hand leather. Certainly if they're buying new leather products, I certainly wouldn't class them as vegan. But again, like, as I say, I got kicked out of a vegan group once because I said I don't see the harm in roadkill. The whole point of veganism is to stop the ongoing exploitation of animals. If roadkill, if it's dead, like if you've accidentally rode over a rabbit right? Okay, people will argue, well, you know, you need to respect. I don't give a fuck if you eat human. Like to be honest, like for me, it's like when you're dead, aren't you? Like I'd have no problem if someone ate my body if I was dead. I don't think I wouldn't know about it, would I? So if you're in America and you're driving down in your big truck and you hit a fucking moose accidentally, right? Take it home. It's dead. You know. So I kind of half argued for roadkill. I wasn't arguing for roadkill. I just said, well, don't waste. You know. And yeah, I got kicked out of groups, stuff like that. So it's like even like the animal rights movement. Yeah, it's very similar to any injustice. I was talking to. Can you remember when I posted that video before? And I was talking about something like that, and like sometimes you can't be vegan enough, right? And like people judge you based on your kind of veganism. So I don't know. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but it's almost like a game of top trumps, and I've talked about this before in terms of alcohol, right? Where people go, oh, you know, you only drank a litre of vodka, I drank a litre and a half, I'm a proper addict, you're half an addict, and all that kind of bullshit and nonsense. That stuff really annoys me, you know. Uh, like I don't mean to cast shade on anybody at all, but it's just come into my head. This is one thing, like another YouTuber that's twice the size, got twice the uh, twice the subscribers that I've got. He from day one used to say, Rick's a fraud. He looks too healthy, etc., etc. You know, like claiming that you can't be an alcoholic because I don't know. As I say, I live in a house, and I've always battled with this. You know, where sometimes I don't think that I'm worthy of help because I've got a little bit more than other people, and it reminded me like my cousin. So I've got a cousin called Barry, right? And I'm 43, so he's 47, and he was in hospital with liver failure through drinking, because as I say, my Scottish side has always been very heavy drinking, and he was in hospital at 27. You know, are you going to call him not an alcoholic? He was fresh faced, good looking. You know, I mean, look at Sober Slayer, right? The guy's 30, right? Good looking chap. You know, his face isn't fucking hanging off. You know, he's in hospital every other week. You're gonna say he's not an alcoholic? You know, that really fucking annoys me when people say, "Oh, he looks too healthy," or "Oh, he's holding his shit together. He's got a car. He can't be an alcoholic." Oh, you know. The thing is, fucking yeah, it really annoys me. That does. There's not many things that annoy me, but that does annoy me. Is Sober Slayer 24? Is he? Oh, I thought I heard him say he was nearly 30. Oh, my apologies. But you understand what I'm saying, right? He's 24. He's clearly an alcoholic, right? He's clearly got his problems, and if he continues to drink, so let's say, for example, if he is 24 and he drinks till he's 30, his liver's going to be, you know, in trouble. You know, he's going to be heading to, you know, I mean, I don't know what the damage for me is, but liver disease, his good friend, you know, he's going down that path, and for somebody to say that he looks too healthy, it just pisses me off. We don't know, do we? We don't know what people do, and it fucks me off. Yeah, you're 20. Yeah, you're 29. It's like, just, I don't know. As I say, I think most people know who I'm talking about when I say that, and I don't mean any disrespect to that individual, but yeah, when he was saying that stuff about me, and I was already like, for people that follow the channel, I was going into kind of these places to get help from addiction, right? So I was going in, I was going to stars and all that kind of stuff, and I'd sit there, and I'd see, someone that I did say looked homeless. I thought they were homeless, right? They had a backpack on and they were a bit wayward and all this kind of stuff. And I was trying to hold my shit together, sitting there, right, silently waiting for my call in. And I felt so out of place. I was like, I'm not as bad as that guy. I'm not as bad as that guy. I shouldn't be here. The service is for these people. The service is for that kind of person, right? That's how I felt. And then you've got other addicts and channels that say, you know, I span with fucking rats and, this guy knows nothing about addiction. I've drank away, I don't know, £100,000 probably. Gambled hundreds of thousands of pounds probably. And yet, because because I'm, 40 and not 90, I don't know anything about addiction. It fucking pisses me off when people say that. And I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about others as well. Because it discourages people from trying to open up, in my opinion. That's how I see it anyway. How many days sober? This is day 2. Is it Stephen? It is Stephen, yeah. As I say, I've got nothing against him. It just infuriated me when he said that. Someone looks too healthy. You don't know. Just because he nearly died living in rat shit doesn't mean that, And what annoys me about it is that he charges to help people. And when I think about what he said about me, he looks too healthy, and he said it so many fucking times. And I think, hang on a minute. So if somebody contacts you and they pay £49 for your service, and they're 30, and they've got a job, and they're holding their life kind of together, do you not think they're an alcoholic? Like, you know what I mean? To me, it was really judgmental. As I say, I don't mean to call anybody down, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. But I do wish him well, same as everybody else. I wish I could answer every single question. Apology video incoming tomorrow. Why? Why would I apologise tomorrow? Yeah, like you say, yeah, fucking. I mean, great unwashed master there just said about Backcountry. Yeah, Backcountry is a fucking good looking guy, and he's been in fucking like rolling around Kazakhstan. Do you know what I mean? Pissed as a fucking fart. Don't mean no, does it? You know what I mean? Right, listen, I'm going to bed because it's late. So I'm sorry I can't answer everybody. As I say, there was a gentleman that emailed me a couple of days ago. I watched his video. He's actually done a video on me, and he wanted some questions answering. Um, and I think it's about time I started to be a little bit more respectful to people and answer questions. What's your star sign? November the 10th is my birthday, so is that Sagittarius or is that Scorpio? I don't know. Am I depressed today? I've certainly had a bad start to the morning. I don't feel too bad now, to be honest. Do you know what though? Like, I know it sounds weird. I was always scared of like doing lives. I tried to do plenty, and I fucked them up. Uh, but I don't mind them, because genuinely, 2 hours. That's two hours we've been talking shite, and I've just kind of lost myself. Not thought about a drink at all. Not thought about food. Not thought about anything other than just like releasing, if you like. I just wish I was a little bit better at talking, answering questions. I just wish I was a little bit better at that. Oh, Slayer's here. Oh, hello, mate. How are you? I was just talking about you. Um, yeah, yeah. People, yeah. Slayer's in the chat. Yeah, yeah. I was just what I was saying, Slayer, was that people often say, don't they, that unless you're a down and out and you're living in a doorway, you're not a true alcoholic. But as well as I do, waking up and it's all you can think about, and it's every thought, and you can't gather your fucking, you just can't function without it. It doesn't matter whether you've got fucking £5 in the bank or £1 million in the bank. If alcohol is controlling you in such a manner that you can't function without it, you're an alcoholic, surely. And I really hate it when people dismiss it. When they say, "Oh, you can't be an alcoholic at 25." Of course you can. Why can't you? You can't be an alcoholic if you live in a house. You can't be an alcoholic if you can drive to work every day. You can't be an alcoholic if you see your family and you've got no anxiety. I hate all that kind of stuff. It fucking really pisses me off. Really annoys me. Really annoys me. As I say, I had a cousin, that was in his fucking mid-20s, and he's got huge liver problems. So, yeah, just stuff like that annoys me. So, oh, yeah. And then what's that about dry drunks? Do you know what? A lot of people that troll, like I have a lot. Like for those that know, I have a lot of I have a lot of trolls, and yeah, I think they are dry drunks if I'm honest. But again, I don't need to comment on them, do I? What's that? By the way, what happened to the cooking video? Oh, do you know what it was? I've got to be honest. That was 2 days ago. I did have a couple of drinks, and yeah, I thought it was a smart idea to go live. Didn't realise that I had it set to private, so I was looking, wondering why there was no one there. The reason there was no one there is because it was private. Yeah, and then I don't know. I don't know, just me being a bit of a fucking fool, really, isn't it? You need to delete more trolls and more messages. Yeah. This is something that really annoys me. Actually, it annoys me about myself. It doesn't annoy me because it's how I react to it. But yes, sometimes I focus on negativity and not the fucking thousands of people that, it's, oh God, like some people leave me messages and honestly I cry. Like I read them the day after and I cry, right? Because they've left me such a nice message. And then I think back to myself and I go, 12 hours ago you were just arguing with idiots. And there's people telling you about their son, their daughter, their mum, their dad, so I need to be better. As a person, I need to be better. 100%. I mean, what's going to happen now? I mean, obviously, I've been talking crap and I keep going off on tangents, which I know. So tomorrow, I will go back through this and I will see all these comments and I'll kick myself for not talking about them. But I do go off on tangents. I can't help it. I just talk shite a lot of the time. But yeah, of course, I wish I could just remove the trolls, but it's part and parcel of the game, isn't it? Dry, drunk, sober, alcoholic. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, I'm sure we all know what a dry drunk is. A dry drunk is essentially somebody that's they're technically sober, so there's no alcohol in their system, but their actions haven't really changed in terms of attitude and stuff like that. Yeah, I get that a lot. People like I always laugh at that. Like people say that I created this channel in order to create an income stream to continue my drinking. It doesn't really matter what I say to you, does it? You'll either believe it or not. But I mean, go back to the first video. It was this channel's evolved in such a way that I'm not sure I'm happy with the way that it's. Well, of course I'm not happy with the way that it's gone, because if I was happy with the way that it's gone, I would be sober, say 8 months, and I'd be doing, I don't know, fucking fitness content. That's what I'd like to, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'd like to be. The point is that I do struggle, and I think loneliness has got a lot to do, I mean, as I say, my mum came round earlier, which is very fortunate. There's a lot of people that'll be in the comments now that don't even have that luxury. They don't have that. They are completely on their own. So sometimes when I don't want to see people, I saw one of, so people know about my cousin, right? That I go on the odd walk with and all that kind of stuff. And I actually seen one of my other cousins. So I've got a lot of cousins, right? And I seen him in the supermarket the other day. And I was actually stood next to him, and he didn't even recognise me because I've put on so much weight, right? He recognised me, and he's like, Rick, and I was like, fucking hell, Dave. I was like, how are you, mate? And we were talking, And then we spoke a little bit outside, and he said, and then I got home, and my mum texted me, and she said, Dave's after your phone number, can I give it him? And I said, of course you can. So he texted me and said, oh, do you fancy doing something sometimes? And do you know what I did? I just ignored him, because I just want to be alone. And then he texted me again, and I can't remember what it was. It was something about Michael Jackson. I don't know if it was something to do with a film or something. And then I ignored him again, because I just want to be alone. And 2 weeks later, I think it's been about 2 weeks, he texted me today, and he just texted me and put, I'll see you in another 10 years. I don't know why I isolate myself so much. I just do. But I understand that it's not good. But I hate being alone, but I want to be alone. And it must be a guilt thing. It must be a shame thing. Oh God, they're all coming in. Look, snake oil salesman. Yep. I like. Can someone answer me this? Like, why is it like a fetish thing? I don't know. I have so many people that like really hate. You know what I mean? Like, call me this, that, and the other. But yeah, you're here. Why don't you just move on? Just don't get it. Right. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off now, and I'm gonna go through the comments because I've missed so many, and I really do apologise. And if there's any standout questions, I will answer them in a video tomorrow. But it's nearly 1 o'clock now in the UK. To be fair though, I'm quite pleased that I got live to work for once, because I have been terrible at it. Hang on 1 second, let me try and answer that. There are a lot of silent watchers who aren't haters, by the way. The haters are more likely to comment. Yeah, because of human nature. Do you know what? Something that I never actually, I've not said. I was going to mention it in tomorrow's video. Somebody called, like, I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't find it relevant. But for those that know, obviously I've got my rescue dog, Chester, that's now with my ex-wife. We do like 3 weeks at a time. She has him for 3 weeks, then I have him for 3 weeks. And, I think I've always shown my love for Chester, and I do, and I love him with everything. And obviously I've never mistreated him, but I do understand, because I get so many comments on videos where people say, poor Chester, poor Chester, poor Chester, poor Chester. I try and understand, right? I think even if, he's fed well, he gets his treats, he gets his walks, he gets his plays, I do agree with people that if you feel negative about yourself, that animals can feel emotions, so even though you're not like shouting, you're not kicking off, you're not, being a prick, I do think that they can feel emotions, and I do feel guilty for that. If I'm sad, they're going to pick up on that sadness. If I'm angry, they're going to pick up on that anger. So I am trying to be better in that sense. But somebody called the RSPCA on me, RSPCA came round to check that Chester's living conditions were okay. Can you believe that? Now, I would love to say that came from a good place. And I think to myself, like I tried. That's the reason I didn't mention it, because it would have been very easy for me to come on and go, oh, some trollers called the RSPCA on me, etc., etc. But I tried to think about it from a different place. Like maybe it was a genuine concern, in my opinion, unjustified. But maybe somebody was concerned, and they called the RSPCA. The RSPCA came around and they checked the house and all this kind of stuff. He's got access to everything. He wasn't actually here at the time. He was with my ex-wife, but I do want to think to myself that the reason he was called, the reason the RSPCA was called was because they were worried about Chester. But I can't help but think to myself that they called the RSPCA to affect me, But again, that's just an assumption. That's the reason I didn't speak on it, because I don't like it when people try and fill in gaps, and I won't do that. I'll only speak on what I know. So that could have been a good person looking out for Chester, or it could have been, one of my many adverse fans that tried to get at me. So that's why I didn't mention it. But yeah, somebody called the RSPCA on me, It is what it is, isn't it? Right then, homeboys. Did you manage to go to the he will delete this. Blame others. Blame trolls. Okay, so we're like 50-50, aren't we, again in here? Yeah, we all love Chester. You're damn fucking right we do. Yep. Right. There's no point in me going through another God knows how many comments. I've done. Have I ever done recreational drugs? I've done pills, cocaine, you name it, I've done it. Gunther, Rosie said she was going to do that. What the RSPCA think, Gunther? Oh, okay. Then it's probably her then. Yeah. Yeah, she's a lovely lady, isn't she? Right. Alright, right. Take care, and I shall see. Do you know what? I don't mind this. I might do one a little bit earlier another time. If I've got anything worth saying. Saying hello from the States. Hello. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to make a video tomorrow, which is a response to somebody that's taken their time out to make a video about me. There's nothing bad in it, but he asks a couple of questions that I think a lot of people that probably want answering. So, yeah, I'll try and do that in the morning and get it out for about 6. Yeah, night, Rick. Sleep well. Well, night to all of you. Hang on. Okay, I've just picked up there. Look, why bypass the AA questions? I didn't see the AA questions, if I'm honest. As I say, I'm currently with Smart Recovery. I've said before, I don't have anything against AA. People might say, is it the religious aspect of it? No, not really. I didn't spend a lot of time with AA, so I can't say it was good or bad. I went for a few sessions. I felt like I was just being like, everybody in there was amazing, right? I mean, it fucking the first time I went, oh my days, a guy pulled me to one side and I just broke down in tears in front of a complete stranger. I couldn't hold myself together at all. It was like all this, because I live alone, right? I live alone. All of this kind of pent up emotion, you know, and someone says, "Are you okay?" Like, have you ever been in that situation where you're on your own and you've got all this kind of like all of this emotion is there, and you're kind of holding it together, and then someone goes, "How are you? Are you okay?" And it's like fucking floodgates just go. I was a mess. You know what I mean? A guy that I'd known for literally 3 minutes. So everybody that I met in AA was absolutely incredible. I cannot say a bad word about a single person. But for the few times that I went, it was just we were just going round in circles, and everybody was talking about, the last time they drank or whatever, and I felt like I got some value from it at the start. I don't, I don't know. As I say, another 5 sessions, another whatever, maybe. But I found Smart now, and I do find that a little bit more, as I say, science based, where they try and explain to you why you do the things that you do. And I think if you, well, everybody's different, right? I don't know. I might get fed up of Smart fucking next week. I don't know, but and I might go back to it. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. As I say, yeah, someone's saying there AAs are cool. I don't know. I don't know. The one thing I always try and do is I don't want to make an assumption on something that I have no credibility to either praise or criticize. I don't know enough about AA, therefore I can't comment. I can only tell you my experience. My experience was the people in there were fucking incredible. I just didn't feel like I left with much, you know. Well, I did. I left with a lot of emotion. To be fair, I did. I left with loads of emotion, but not on how to stop. Not like, I don't know. As I say, for me, maybe another 10 sessions would have, or 5 sessions, whatever, would have impacted me differently. I chose to not go again. That's on me. So who knows? I may revisit. I may not. I don't know. I don't know where I'm headed now. I don't know. Like, I don't know whether I'm headed, to stay in Smart, whether I'm headed back to AA, whether I'm headed to rehab, hospital. I don't know. I'm just trying to take every day as it comes, So, yeah. So still waiting for the fibro. Still waiting for the fibro scan. As soon as I get that date, I will tell you. I'll try and do a video, show you my scores. As I say, whatever. I think somebody posted earlier, didn't they? Was it ALT? I can't remember exactly what the number was, but I think the is it 0 to 50 or 0 to 60? I think last year I was at 600. This time I'm at 800. So things are going in the wrong direction, but that's obvious, I mean, I've been on camera how many times, fucking pisses of heart, let alone, the times that I go off for 3, 4, 5 days. I mean, I'm not trying to kid anybody. I'm not trying to lie to anybody. If I drop off for 4 days and you're an alcoholic, we all know what's going on. I don't need to come on and blow smoke up your arse. We all know where I've been. So, yeah. Right, I'm going. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah, so what I'll do is, once I finish this, I will go through tomorrow, because I go off on a tangent. I go off and I talk about shite, and I look over there because I don't like looking at myself. And then I miss half the questions, so what I'll do is I'll go through the comments tomorrow, and if there's anything that I think I haven't answered, I'm just going up now. Also, do you do Charlie? Yeah, I've done plenty, thank you. Okay, right, so yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, take care, folks. Thank you. Appreciate you. Fuck me, what's going on?